flex with all the shooters. Shorty, all you gotta get ahead of all my shooters. Alright.
What is going on, y'all? It's your boy 3MG. We are back with another video, and I just have to say I apologize. I had a full video unboxing setup for you guys, showing you guys the new monitor that I just purchased for my PS4 Pro and my Xbox One X, and I had this whole dope setup. Unfortunately, the footage was out of focus, so I had, of course, autofocus on, and I actually used my DSLR. I barely used my T5i. I decided this time, let me get the T5i going so I could get a more wider shot as I was sitting on the couch showing you guys the monitor. The audio was like kind of loud, raspy. The quality wasn't that, good, but I was still gonna use it anyways and try to fix that part up. But the actual video itself was kind of out of focus. Every time I raised an object, the joint got out of focus, so I apologized. And at that point, I already had did the setups and everything. So I'm gonna just show you guys my current setup now with the monitor that I just bought, as well as just show you what I bought and why I decided to go with this particular monitor. So for a while now, I felt like I've made a stupid purchase or stupid decision buying the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, mainly because with the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, when you're playing a game that's enhanced, and you're playing on a 1080p monitor, supposedly, the pixels, as they get smaller, they look better, bigger pixels, and you minimize it, it gets look like more richer picture, whatever you want to call it. That didn't matter to me. If I'm playing a game that's enhanced or maybe to be 4K, even on PC, if I'm playing games that are capable of running 4K 30, 4K 60 or whatever, I would like to see, that resolution or them graphics, right? The quality of the game that I'm playing. And just to sum things up, just currently right now, I was running an ultra wide Asus, which I love all Asus monitors. I feel like between them and BenQ's a little bit more expensive, just like Sony and Samsung. Sony, for some reason, is always more expensive on their TVs compared to Samsung, but I feel like Samsung's quality is still amazing. So basically, I have the Asus MX, I think it's called the MX299Q. It's an ultra wide 2560 by 1080. That's where I kind of went wrong, even though the monitor is fantastic. It's a 2560 by 1080, 60 hertz monitor at I think 2 milliseconds response time, so that's really not bad. It's great for multifunctioning, if you want to game in 2K, I guess. But the output of when you're recording and when you stream is 1080p still. And what I didn't like is that when I did record and I try to record 4K, 2K, whatever, it would have black bars. You're able to actually game capture on there using Shadow Play or your Elgato, and it will show a 1920 by 1080, which is still great. But I wanted to up it up to 4K. So it's borderless as well. The only border that you see is actually the bottom because of the buttons, but it's an all monitor. The whole thing around it is all monitor, so it looks amazing. The second Asus monitor that I do have currently is like my favorite monitor of all time. It's the Asus VG248QE. It's a 1080p monitor, and it's a 144 hertz 1 millisecond response time monitor with amazing color contrast. So honestly, when I'm looking at my 4K monitor right now and even my 1080p monitor, I'm still gonna say that my 1080p monitor's colors and how bright and the details, the shadows, everything, the blacks look black still, looks amazing on that monitor compared to the 4K. Even though the 4K monitor looks fabulous. I said fabulous? I mean fantastic. But this 1080p monitor is gonna stick with me for as long as I can have it. And I suggest if you guys are looking for a monitor like this, you should definitely go out and buy it. I mean, of course, for the luxury on PC for 144 hertz, but still the fact that it's 1 millisecond response time, color contrast looks amazing. Today, I will show you guys the monitor that I went ahead and picked up. So, and just for the record, I am getting rid of my ultra wide monitor to one of my boys, but this is the monitor that I decided to pick up. So this is the MG28U monitor. This is a 1 millisecond response time monitor. It's a 4K Ultra HD monitor that has a 60 hertz refresh rate, which runs games 60 frames per second. To be honest with you, I know there was a decision between HDR and this whole thing with getting HDR, 4K, HDR10 or whatever. The big problem is I don't want to get I have a 4K TV, but I don't want to get a TV to play video games on. I don't want to have to get an LG monitor. I'm very brand loyal. That's my big problem. I'm very, very brand loyal. For example, I have a whole bunch of Asus monitors, right? And for example, iPhones. I've had Samsung phones and stuck with Samsung phones, nothing but Samsung. I stuck with iPhones, stuck with nothing but iPhones. Like, I'm just very brand loyal. So I was looking, I seen that Monoprice had a great price on their 4K HDR monitor, but I don't know how the quality is on their brands. More or less, I have zero interest in wanting to get a monitor like that. And on top of that, it's very costly. LG's monitor is like $700-800. They have another brand that I'm just like, no, I'm not familiar with. And Monoprice, I don't really hear Monoprice being used a lot in so many other people in terms of monitor for gaming. So I just didn't want to go there. So I decided to pick this monitor up. It's a 28-inch. It's a TN panel. I totally forgot what the hell TN meant, but I do know that it is actually really good for competitive shooting, competitive games. If you're playing games like, you know, third-person shooters, Call of Duty type games or first-person shooters, whatever, this is a great monitor to use. IPS monitors, they have this in that version, which is a 24-inch monitor, and it's used for games like Dota and other games because it has more accurate color schemes on the video games. But yeah, this monitor, honestly, I'm very happy to get. It has a lot of functions in it as well. And honestly, just comparing the prices of a lot of monitors, this monitor did go up to like 5 something, 6 something, but I got it for $360 at its very last pricing. Like, this was a great investment. So the funny thing about this monitor also is that I have free 1-day shipping. It was supposed to come Saturday. It never came Saturday. It came like yesterday, and then I did the whole unboxing video. But this ran me around like $400 because of the tax. It was like $366 or $360 plus the tax. It came out to like $403, and just to get it like in 1 day, I didn't really mind. But still, I think overall, from what I was comparing, looking at comparison videos, this monitor definitely suited me. A lot of the functions, being that it had flicker-free, AMD FreeSync, the fact that the color contrast was looking amazing as I seen comparison videos. Basically the stand of the base of this monitor, I could turn this whole monitor to the sides and everything without actually moving the base, which is something really nice. It's just a little luxury piece, miscellaneous, whatever. You could raise the monitor up and down. You could tilt it all the way. Like, this monitor has a lot of functions to it, so I really like that a lot. It features, of course, a display port, 3 HDMI slots, one being that it's 4K 60, the other ones I think are just 4K 30 HDMI slots. It has 3 USB 3.0 slots, as well as a display port for, I think, anything Apple related. It also features a headphone jack, and it has built-in speakers. So all these things together, and I actually love the border of it. It looks very clean and sleek, and just overall, when you compare that to another monitor like BenQ, I'm just like, dog, BenQ be missing speakers on there. BenQ be having like 1 HDMI input, and they don't have like anything else. This also has DVI, by the way. But yeah, I was just like, forget about it. And by the way, I decided to pick up 2 HDMI 2.1 cables. Now, for some people who don't understand, there's differences between HDMI cables. I know a lot of you guys think that your average HDMI cable is all you need when you game, but it really matters. And if you're using a 4K TV or 4K monitor and you're using an HDMI 1.4, like, you got to understand what you're buying, especially me. Like, there's a lot of times I buy shit and I don't know what it is, but I have to do my research. So a lot of the times people didn't realize they were using HDMI 1.4, which only allows a pass through of like, I think 30 frames per second on a 1080p, and that's what was used during the PS3 and 360 era. Then HDMI 2.0 came out with the, you know, current gen consoles, and that allowed for at least 4K 60 frames per second. But I went ahead, future-proof the whole joint, got a HDMI 2.1, which allows for up to like 8K at 60 frames and allow for 4K at 120 frames per second. So if I ever upgrade in the future, just know that I'm good. Let me go ahead and show you the actual setup and show you everything that's going on. Now, just quickly, this was the monitor that I was currently using to edit, play games, and do all that great stuff. It's a 60 hertz 2560 by 1080 monitor. It was an ultra wide. Look, as you guys can see, it's all screen, the very bottom, and I guess you want to say the very top is like a centimeter or whatnot of a border, and everything else was just all screen monitor. So this honestly is an amazing monitor. The quality picture is amazing, but it just didn't really match my setup. And personally, I was looking for something more on the 4K, and just because of the fact I have a PS4 Pro, an Xbox One X, and my PC can actually run games at 4K. Now, this is the 28-inch Asus MG28U monitor, the 1 millisecond response time, 4K Ultra HD at 60 hertz. This monitor is amazing. Now, when you compare that to the right side, this is my 1080p monitor. This is a 24-inch monitor. This is 28 inches. You can obviously see the difference. Both monitors slide up and down, which makes it actually really good if you're someone who actually sits at a higher, you know, from your chair, or you're someone who likes to sit very low. It actually works, and this does that same thing as well. Let me just show you guys here. You guys can raise that high and low. Look at the base. You could turn the monitor and don't have to worry about, you know, the base actually turning as well. So that's something I really liked as well. I also have this monitor connected to my PC with a display port. I'm not using VGA, DVI, HDMI. I'm using a display port, and the picture quality, everything is amazing. Once again, the dope thing about this monitor too, you know, you get to have different, you know, settings and button functions. You could change the scenery modes, change the colors. You can see right here, the colors look absolutely amazing in this mode, as well as on the scenery mode itself. You get to change it to wherever you want, similar to like, you know, other monitors that are out there. You can actually enable the FPS counter, which will be on the top left or the top right of this monitor, which is dope. So if you're playing a PC game, it'll show you how many frames per second the monitor is running. As you guys can see right here, this is Halo 5, the Xbox One X enhanced version, running in 4K on my monitor. This game, honestly, I can see a huge difference. A lot of people are like, no, I still can't. I can see a huge difference. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Horizon Zero Dawn looks amazing, yo. And the crazy thing is, I understand the whole super sampling and the checkerboard rendering, but still, this enhanced version of it is amazing if you're running it on a 4K TV. This is ridiculous. Don't worry, I'm gonna have gameplay out for you guys because I got something special in the works. There's another big video that I'm dropping. Hey, if you guys know what that is, that's not the regular Elgato, you heard? But y'all gonna have to wait for the next video. But listen, this is the new monitor that I have here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna give you guys a full review maybe like in a week or so, but I got another good video coming up soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'm out of here. God bless everybody. Peace.
Yeah, I told you, the weather's cold, we're getting older. Things even change when it gets colder. But we'll move on just like I'm always. Sun and sky, sun, those were the days.